Welcome to This Week in BJJ, the world's first and only live jiu-jitsu show. Brought to you by Zebra Mats, simply Z-Best, Q5 Labs, Stay Alpha, and Defense Soap, defend what you have built. And here's your host, Budo Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of This Week in BJJ. Today is June 20th, 2014, and we've been pretty busy here at Budo headquarters. Been focused on a somewhat secret project called Budo Mania, and that's something that I can't tell you too much about today, but all I can say is it's something that's really cool, and we'll be giving you a little more insight into what it exactly is in the next few weeks, but we don't hype up things that aren't real and aren't really exciting, and this is going to be great. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to tell you a little bit more, but hopefully on the next episode of This Week in BJJ, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about it. But on today's episode, we're going to talk about two great new DVD sets, and I'm also going to talk to you about, well, it's a new segment called Making Money in BJJ. It's questions I get a lot about. And finally, we're going to have a great interview with Dr. Ethan Kreiswirth. So first off, let's start talking about some of the new products. This one is the Miele Brothers. Of course, anybody watching this show probably knows who the Miele Brothers are. We have a video clip here, but these two kids are probably, in my opinion, the guys that train the hardest. These guys train all the time. I went to a class and watched them one time. They were on the mats training before the rest of the class got there. They trained super hard during every sparring session. And at the end, when everybody else went to go home, these two were the only ones still on the mat training, so nobody trains like they do, and you can see by the results in the tournaments. They're brand new black belts, and they both got silver medals at their first World Championships at black belt. That's an amazing accomplishment, and the guys that they lost to are multiple-time world champions, Guy Mendez and Bruno Malfacini, so they did an incredible job at their first World Championships at black belt, and this DVD set shows all their trademark moves. They all come from most of them come from the double guard pull position. They are smaller competitors, and so the guard pull is a common way to get the fight started for these guys. Tons of leg drags and barambolos. Here you can see footlocks. A lot of really interesting ways to set up barambolos and ways to do them that you wouldn't expect. Nobody trains as hard as they do, and it shows itself in their techniques that they know all the details, and they're going to share it with you on this DVD set. I think you're going to get, I know you're going to get a lot out of this set. The Miele Brothers. Check it out. It's on BudoVideos.com right now, $97 for the 4 DVD set. One more thing to talk about today as far as new products goes, and that is the ADCC 2013 set. Now, ADCC is widely regarded as the most prestigious no-gi world championship. It happens every 2 years, so 2013 was the last one, and it took place in Beijing, China. We did the live broadcast for a couple of the last 2011 and 2009. We did not do the live broadcast for the 2013, but I'm happy to say that we are releasing the DVD set, and this is a set that almost didn't happen. I'm not going to go into too many of the details, but suffice to say that this set was almost never released. The live broadcast was shall I say, a little bit lower than our expectations as far as quality is concerned, but the footage on here is great quality, and it has all the top level guys. We got guys like the Rafa Mendes, Cobrinha, the Miele Brothers, Kron Gracie, Leo Vieira, Otavio Souza, Keenan Cornelius, Rafael Lovato, Dean Lister, Andre Galvao, Braulio Estima, Mario Sperry, Fabio Gurgel. The list goes on and on. This is a 7 DVD set, 18 hours of fights. If you like no-gi, this is the Super Bowl of our sport. So check it out. It's going to be released the first week of July, so available for pre-order right now. I think you'll enjoy that one a lot. Before we move on, let's take a preview of the ADCC 2013 set. One question that I get a lot is how to make money in the sport of BJJ. And I think people ask me this question a lot because I'm one of the guys that's doing just that. I'm running the company, BudoVideos.com, and I want to share with you a couple things that you can do that might help out, paying your rent, paying your supplement fees, paying your training fees, whatever expenses you have. There's a couple things you can do that might help you out. And I don't want to give you any false aspirations. This isn't going to make you a millionaire, but it's something that you can do and make a little bit of extra income. And the more you work at it, the more you can make. So the easiest thing you can do is to set up a blog. And setting up a blog can be a little bit intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. It's actually pretty easy. You can get one started in about 5 minutes. You can get going with this. The easiest way to do it is to go to Bluehost. And if you follow this link at the bottom of the screen right here, www.BudoVideos.com/Bluehost, this is who I've used to set up a couple other blogs, and it's super easy, super convenient. They have great technical support, and also they are one of our affiliates, so we are going to get a little bit of a commission if you use them, and that helps us to continue running the show, sharing good content with you. So if you use this link, I'll greatly appreciate it. So what you can do if you set up a blog is you can share it can be like a training journal. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about how difficult it is for the life of an active competitor. Post pictures of your competitions. Anything you can do just to get more views. You can also do interviews with people. A lot of the stars in our sport are pretty approachable. They'll be happy to do interviews. So just get your blog going. Share it with me on my Facebook page or Instagram. I'll be happy to share it as well. And that can be a nice way to earn a little extra income. How can you earn extra income using a blog? It's not just about getting traffic. It's about using affiliate links. And BudoVideos.com offers this service. So there's another link right here, www.BudoVideos.com/affiliate. And what you're going to find there is all the information about how to get started. And what happens when you put links on your site, whether it's banner ads or links, using your unique affiliate code, which the site will explain all that, how it works. Say somebody comes to your blog and clicks the link and buys a gi. Average price of a gi nowadays is about $150. You're going to get 10% of that, so $15 off that one sale. Now, what if that person, in addition to a $150 gi, also buys a $100 DVD set? That's a $250 sale. You'll get $25. But it doesn't stop just there. You also need to understand what a cookie is, and by that, it means, and if anybody that goes to your site, clicks on your link, and buys anything from BudoVideos.com in the next 30 days, you're also going to earn that 10% commission anytime they make a purchase within those 30 days. So I don't want to get too much into how this works, but it's a great way for you to make a little extra money talking about what you love to do. So, you don't have to go outside of jiu-jitsu to do something really difficult. And again, it's difficult to make this a full-time job, but it's something you can do in your spare time and make a little extra cash. So check it out, BudoVideos.com/Bluehost and BudoVideos.com/affiliate to get started. If you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook, private message me there, and I'll be happy to give you a little extra information there. So we're going to talk to Dr. Ethan Kreiswirth in a moment. You might recognize Ethan as being one of the guys in the red shirts at all the Ibjjf events, at least all the big events. Whenever somebody might get injured, he and his team will run out, take care of the guy, and head back. So he has a lot of information about how to deal with sports-related injuries, particularly jiu-jitsu-related injuries. He's a really interesting guy. He's not only a doctor, he's also a jiu-jitsu black belt, so he really knows what he's talking about. And I think you're really going to enjoy the interview. Also, before we get to the interview, he has 2 instructionals that we recently produced with him, and he shares a lot of information on these instructionals. It's a topic that we don't usually see covered in the jiu-jitsu market. The first one is taping, so how to tape your fingers, your elbows, your knees, almost any part of your body. He goes into detail about how to do it and why to do it. So it's a really interesting app all on athletic taping. The other app is about injury recognition, when you can treat an injury that might happen in your academy or maybe to you, and when you need to go to a doctor. So 2 really interesting apps. We're going to talk to him about those 2 products and also about a wide range of other topics. I think you're really going to enjoy the interview. But before we get to the interview, let's watch a preview of the 2 brand new instructional apps by Dr. Ethan Kreiswirth.
I'm Dr. Ethan Kreiswirth. I'm a certified athletic trainer. Our role as a certified athletic trainer is to care and prevent athletic injuries. Some injuries that you may see as an athletic trainer is ankle, knee, shoulder, even neck injuries or concussions. Our job is to care and provide and also rehabilitate many of these types of injuries.
Okay, now it's time to check out the interview with Dr. Ethan Kreiswirth. This is one that we did just a couple days ago. I hope you enjoy it, and catch you on the other side. Hey guys, welcome back to This Week in BJJ. I'm Budo Jake, and today I'm honored to have the presence of Ethan Kreiswirth. Ethan, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You guys out there, if you've been to any IBJJF tournaments and you saw medics running to the mats to take care of somebody, chances are it was Ethan and his crew. Ethan, I got a lot of things to talk about to you today, but first of all, let's just start out. How did you get involved with the IBJJF?
Well, I used to compete. I competed in the early 90s, kind of mid-90s when tournaments started coming here. There were some very, very small tournaments, maybe 2-3 mat tournaments, and I started competing as a blue belt. And I started asking people there, hey, do you have anybody who can cover your events medically? And they're all, oh, we wouldn't do that. Why would we do that, right? I said, well, this is what I can do for you. Give me free registration, and I'll come compete, and then I can run on the mat for you and help people out and kind of assess their injuries and tell them where to go if they're hurt. So that just kind of evolved. And then the IBJJF started coming here, the early 2000s. And I got on with them and stopped competing, of course, but I just kept up my reign with them, and I started building a team, and ever since then, I've been rolling with them.
Wow. So there were events back then where there was no medical crew around at all.
Yeah, no medical crew. We were looking at 2 mats in a hotel room, right? I'm not hotel room, in a hotel banquet area, 1 mat, early more era times, and then started going out to gyms, maybe 1 mat, maybe 2 mats, and then it just started evolving. And then once all the Brazilians came here, it just got huge. We started going over 2 days, which was a big deal. Now we're up to, typically almost like 5 days for some big events.
What do you think about some of the smaller events nowadays that still might not have medical staff there?
I think it's really necessary to have that medical staff. I mean, if you want to help everybody, even the parents that are having their little kids participate, if you want to understand risk and reduce the risk, you need to recognize injury and have somebody out there to help support.
How important is it that the medical staff knows jiu-jitsu?
That's a great question. I think it's very important. I hire people through the IBJJF across the nation right now, and I always look for somebody, but there's not many out there. So it definitely helps me being a black belt in the sport, understanding the sport, having the common language with the athletes. The athletes truly love it if I can talk, hey, you got berimboloed, or, somebody threw an outside hook, and now I'm having outside knee pain, something like that. It's really, really important, because when you try to explain this stuff to other people, my knee hurts, well, they don't understand the mechanism of how it happens. So key point is understand jiu-jitsu as well as the injuries.
Is it true that the berimbolo is the most dangerous sweep out there?
Outside hook is pretty dangerous.
Is it really?
Yeah, outside hook, we're seeing a lot of people playing that outside hook, De La Riva hook. Long term, presents a lot of injuries to something called the posterior lateral corner, LCL, PCL, and lateral meniscus. So we see a lot of those injuries.
You just threw out a lot of big words there.
Sorry.
Let's dumb it down a little bit.
There
So
you go.
the guy in the bottom's playing De La Riva. He has his outside hook in. Mm-hmm. The guy on top is standing. It's more dangerous for which guy?
The guy playing the De La Riva. So if he sits on that De La Riva and you're stuck in that De La Riva outside hook and it's not like a straight leg, it's very, very bent, the hip's externally rotated, you put a lot of stress on those outside ligaments, those outside structures. When you put stress on those for a long period of time, they're eventually just going to stretch like a piece of plastic, like a plastic bag. So if I took a plastic bag and I put my hand through that plastic bag and I took my hand out, that plastic bag is now going to be stretched. It's not going to come back. That's it. So you eventually get a lot of something called plasticity, where you get this overstretch of this plastic, then your knee becomes subsequently loose, and overall you'll have an injury.
Wow, this is fascinating. I got so many questions. I want to talk to you about short-term injuries and long-term injuries, but let's keep it on the tournaments for a little bit. What's the most common injury you see at tournaments today?
So according to the research, we did some research on, I collect data on almost all the tournaments now, and I originally did research on a 2009 no-gi tournament where we found knee and ankle to be the highest amount of injuries as far as risk. Now, you got to think that that's no-gi, so people get attacked lower leg a lot. When we did gi tournament data, we started looking at typically elbow and knee. Now, elbow we know because elbow locks are common. That's the mechanism of injury. Knee wasn't so much towards getting knee locked because lower belts can't get knee locked, but preventing the takedown or just being in a torqued, twisted position was really the mechanism of injury. So we're looking at elbow and we're looking at knee as far as risk. And the belt level, you're looking more at the middle belts, the blue belts and the purple belts.
Not as much injuries at the upper belts, huh?
Upper belts showed ankle, right? Just like we would suspect, toe holds, things like that nature. But really, we saw the most types of injuries occur at the elbow and the knee.
And most people think that no-gi is more dangerous than gi. There's less friction, there's more scrambles. Does the data show that no-gi is more dangerous than gi?
Only in lacerations. We saw a big increase in lacerations, accidental headbutts, knees to the head, just being so loose, so sloppy. We saw more lacerations, face anywhere than we do with gi. Gi slows it down definitely. We see a lot more submissions with the gi as far as injuries due to submissions.
There's lots of rules that the Ibjjf has put into place, and some guys complain. A lot of guys out there want to see no holds barred, everything goes. One of the most controversial rules is the knee reaping rule, and there are some changes. Look up the new rule changes, guys. But when the outside leg crosses over, torquing the knee, that's the thing that they don't allow. Did you see a lot more injuries before that rule came into place?
I'm going to say no. When you knee reap, the hip only has so much internal rotation. The hip has a lot of external rotation. So when you knee reap, you cause something called a valgus collapse, your knee to be bent inward. You only have so much hip internal rotation. So because of that lack of rotation, that lack of range of motion, you can become injured at the inside of your knee and also in the hip due to the knee reap. And it happens fast. So I understand the rule, but it's not supported by the data yet.
Another thing that's illegal in all Ibjjf tournaments is heel hooks. They are legal in some other tournaments, though, like ADCC. Mm-hmm. Do you think heel hooks are as dangerous as most people think they are?
Yeah, I wrote an article about that in BJJ Mag about that because the heel hook causes internal rotation of the knee. So you really don't see the heel or the ankle getting injured as much as you see when you cause that major rotation, you basically get the knee injury. So you're looking at ACL, MCL, either of the menisci can get hurt with that, and then it kind of goes up the chain. So you're looking at ankle, and you're looking at knee, and then you're looking at hip, even can go to low back depending on how a person's rolling out of it. But the heel hook's dangerous, and since it's so fast, now if somebody can train for it and go slowly with it, but that doesn't happen in competition, people grab it, they crank it, and the knee pops.
Wow. Okay, guys, we've got lots more questions for Ethan. I'm learning a lot. I hope you are too. We'll be right back.
Now, I've seen some extremely bad dislocations. I've seen guys getting choked out, rear naked chokes, and their jaw dislocates. I really like those fundamentals, and I miss them, that, you train with somebody who's close to your size, close to your experience level. You got to compete more. You got to be at that level of just calming yourself when you compete. That's just competing more. And if you're talking about chronic injury, holding on to the gi, arthritic conditions, just holding on to that monkey grip for a long period of time.